So you've probably seen them literally everywhere on your social media feeds, right? The bright green juices, the murky matcha lattes, and just endless glasses of cloudy lemon water. The internet is completely flooded with claims that these morning superfood drinks are magical fat burners that'll instantly transform your body overnight. But let's be real. Do these drinks actually work the way influencers say they do? Or are we all just kind of burning cash on trendy, expensive ingredients, desperately hoping for a miracle that just isn't coming? I mean, are you truly jumpstarting your metabolism? Or are you literally just drinking really expensive water?
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a hard, science-backed look at one of the most searched wellness topics out there right now. We're going to cut through the noise, separate internet fiction from actual biological fact, and find out what really supports a healthy lifestyle. Okay, let's dive right into this.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll tackle the magic pill myth. 2, we'll look at the hydration heroes. 3, we've got the energy balancers. Number 4, the fullness factors. And finally, number 5, avoiding the hidden sugar trap.
Starting right off with Section 1, the magic pill myth.
The massive claim floating around online is that one single beverage can magically melt away fat, basically replacing the need for any other healthy habits. But biologically speaking, yeah, that is completely false. There's absolutely no drink out there that acts as a magic weight loss pill. The real, tangible value of these superfood drinks is actually how they support your body's natural functions, things like hydration, digestion, and fullness. They're basically just tools to help you build healthier, much more sustainable daily habits over time.
Let's actually look at the mechanics of why your morning matters so much. It's really all about a chain reaction. Think about it. When you start your day with those sugary, convenient drinks, highly processed breakfasts, or, hey, even if you just skip breakfast entirely, you're aggressively spiking your blood sugar. And that rapid spike, it perfectly sets you up for a massive energy crash and some really intense cravings later on. But on the flip side, bringing a balanced superfood drink into the mix creates this solid foundation of mindful eating. It gets you hydrated right out of the gate, helps out your digestion, and gives you a really steady, balanced energy curve. This is exactly why consistency with simple, basic habits matters so much more than jumping on the latest extreme diet trend.
Moving along to Section 2, the hydration heroes. First up, we've got the incredibly simple, wildly popular warm lemon water. Now let's make one thing abundantly clear right now. Lemon water doesn't directly burn fat, but it is a fantastic, super affordable habit that's just caught on everywhere for a really good reason. Honestly, it just makes drinking water first thing in the morning way more enjoyable and refreshing. By adding that little hit of flavor and a nice boost of vitamin C, it kind of tricks you into getting some massive early morning hydration. Plus, and this is huge, it acts as a direct replacement for those heavy, sugary morning coffees.
And then, of course, we have apple cider vinegar, or ACV. The gap between the viral hype and the actual biological reality here is just massive. The internet loves to paint it as this ultimate miracle fat loss solution, but the reality? Well, the studies do suggest ACV might help slow down gastric emptying, which is a fancy way of saying it keeps you feeling full and supports a healthier blood sugar response. But it is definitely not a miracle cure. In fact, treating it like one can actually be pretty harmful.
Actually, we really need to take this warning seriously. The research clearly states that drinking concentrated vinegar may irritate your teeth, your throat, and your stomach lining. That's not just some minor side effect you can brush off. Taking shots of straight, undiluted vinegar can cause some legitimate damage. If you're going to use it, strict moderation and heavy dilution are an absolute must. Honestly, a much safer bet is just mixing a tiny little splash into a tall glass of water, maybe with a quick squeeze of lemon.
All right, Section 3. The energy balancers.
Enter matcha. This bright green tea powder has absolutely taken over the wellness community. And honestly, for very good reason. Matcha is just packed with antioxidants, natural caffeine, and these specific plant compounds that basically work together to give you a much calmer, steadier kind of energy. This is mostly thanks to an amino acid called L-theanine. It promotes relaxation without making you feel drowsy, and it actually binds with the caffeine to give you this really smooth lift. So you skip that steep, sudden crash or those awful jitters you usually get from regular coffee. Good old standard green tea is another fantastic option here. It's been widely researched for its potential links to supporting metabolism and fat oxidation. But Once again, we really have to keep our expectations grounded in reality. No tea, by itself, is going to magically trigger dramatic weight loss. The true habit shift here, the thing that actually moves the needle long-term, is simply the act of replacing your high-calorie, sugar-loaded lattes with a naturally lower-sugar alternative like green tea.
That brings us to Section 4, the fullness factors.
Let's break down the anatomy of an optimal homemade green smoothie. You can kind of think of this like building the perfect, highly functional recipe. First, you want a really strong base of spinach or kale. These are super low in calories but incredibly nutrient-dense. Then, throw in a handful of berries for a nice rush of antioxidants and a serious fiber boost. Next up, toss in some chia seeds or flax seeds. That's going to give you even more structural fiber, plus a fantastic hit of healthy fats. Add a solid protein source and blend the whole thing together with a light liquid base, something like almond milk. This combo uses real, whole ingredients to significantly drop your hunger levels and stop you from overeating later in the day.
I really want to highlight that fourth ingredient, protein. Mechanically speaking, protein is quite literally one of the single most important nutrients you can eat for achieving lasting fullness. That's because it actively works to suppress hunger hormones, like ghrelin. If you're trying to shut down those intense afternoon cravings and support genuine biological appetite control throughout your entire day, protein is absolutely your best tool. It's exactly why busy professionals and fitness folks rely so heavily on getting a hearty intake of protein first thing in the morning.
By combining things like Greek yogurt, a scoop of really high-quality protein powder, some complex carbs from oats, fiber from those chia seeds and berries, and a liquid base like almond milk, you are basically building a sustainable, super satisfying meal replacement right in your own kitchen. You aren't doing some crazy extreme diet here. You're just creating a highly functional morning drink that will actively keep you away from the snack drawer for hours on end.
And finally, Section 5, avoiding the sugar trap.
Dessert-level calories. Okay, it sounds a bit crazy, but it is shockingly common. People will proudly strut out of a trendy cafe, sipping on their so-called wellness drink, completely unaware that right beneath that pretty green coloring, it is secretly loaded with sugary syrups and sweetened creamers. You think you're making this super healthy choice, but calorically speaking, you honestly might as well have just blended up a giant slice of cake for breakfast. This is exactly why making these drinks at home, where you actually control the ingredients, is almost always the far better option.
Because at the end of the day, true wellness and weight management, it's a completely holistic picture. One of the absolute biggest mistakes people make is relying entirely on a morning drink while just ignoring everything else. Look, a green smoothie cannot fix a chronic lack of sleep. Matcha is great, but it cannot outwork zero physical movement. Lemon water isn't going to somehow magically overcome poor overall nutrition or crazy unmanaged stress. And blindly trusting commercial smoothies without carefully reading those ingredient labels, that's just a surefire way to accidentally consume massive amounts of hidden sugar.
I really want to leave you with this core message straight from the source material. Consistency matters far more than extreme trends. Simple drinks made with real whole ingredients work incredibly well. But, and this is a huge but, they only work when they're combined with consistent, sustainable lifestyle choices. It's really all about finding a balance that you can actually maintain day after day, month after month.
So I leave you with this to think about. Take a good look at your own routine tomorrow morning. Is your morning drink genuinely building a sustainable, healthy habit, or are you just swallowing yet another viral internet trend? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope you're walking away today with a clear, much more realistic understanding of how to actually power your mornings. Until next time, stay curious and keep focusing on what
So you've probably seen them literally everywhere on your social media feeds, right?